Jeff Mayweather says Devin Haney stands no chance against Gervonta Davis off the Lomachenko performance. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, trainer, uncle of Mayweather, Floyd to be exact, Jeff Mayweather said that he feels like Devin Haney would have no shot versus Gervonta Tank Davis if those two actually squared off at 135 pounds. And I wanted to give my 2 cents on what Mayweather had to say. So, if you look at Devin Haney's performance, there were 2 very clear things. Devin Haney gets hit. I would say 3. Devin Haney gets hit. Devin Haney can't take a punch. And Devin Haney has no speed in his feet. So if you put all that together and you pointed at 1 or maybe 2 fighters that have the possibility of beating Devin at 135, of course the 2 biggest names besides Devin Haney are going to come up, which are Shakur Stevens and Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, let's say Gervonta actually did get the shot at Devin and undisputed. How would that fight actually play out? Me personally, I do believe that Devin Haney would have a lot of problems with Gervonta Davis based off the fact that Lomachenko, when he did land, you can tell it was bothering Devin Haney. He doesn't like to get hit, but he gets hit. And someone with a bigger punch than Lomachenko has a decent punch, but someone with a naturally heavier hand than Loma, I think would definitely, most likely, at least knock down Devin Haney. We didn't see Loma ever knock Devin down. There was really no point in the fight, except for maybe one, where I felt like Devin was going down. There was a combination in the later rounds that Loma threw that really caught Devin off guard and made him stumble. And that was probably the only point in the fight where I'm like, he might go down. But he never went down. He only stumbled. The only time he did hit the mat, I think he did hit the mat when they tangled up their feet. Both of the guys went down. So I don't think Loma had enough power behind his shots to actually, not to say bother, but to floor Devin Haney. But a guy like Gervonta Davis, who has such a high knockout ratio and who's known for really, really hurting his opponent, you gotta say that he would be the guy who Devin Haney would have the most trouble with at 135 pounds. Now, the speed of Shakur Stevens could definitely, most likely, give him problems. But if Shakur can't put anything behind those punches, similar to Vasyl Lomachenko, then we might get the same outcome in a Shakur Stevens fight. And, I would hate for Shakur to get cheated like that because he's so young and he really doesn't need any blemishes on his record because of the types of fans that are out there and the types of fans that are into, these new age fighters. Listen, the younger fighters, I had a conversation with a guy in the comment section a day or 2 ago, and he was saying that he feels like Gervonta Davis's record is padded because most of the fighters nowadays are really untested. And I have to agree. I would say everybody is pretty much untested because they're shoved into the spotlight so quickly and they haven't really been through those wars yet. And what made Mayweather and Pacquiao and other names of that caliber so special is that those guys had, by the time that they were really, really popular, they already had like 40, maybe 50 fights on their record. And by the time they became worldwide superstars, they were into the 60s. Maybe not Mayweather, Pacquiao definitely, and fighters like Pacquiao. Mayweather, he gained his fame a little differently, but he still made it all the way to 50 fights. at a young age, relatively young age. And I just don't see that for these guys nowadays. Gervonta Davis is at, I think, 30 fights, a little past 30 fights. I think he had amateur fights as well. But these guys, they don't have the caliber of competition that Mayweather and Pacquiao and Oscar and all those other guys had to go through to reach superstardom within the sport. So, I'd have to agree with the person I was chatting with in the comment section that everybody's pretty much untested, but you can't just point a finger at one guy and say, well, he's not real because his record is padded and it's against untested fighters. Listen, Devin Haney's the undisputed champion and just got whooped. Matter of fact, the last guy who had the majority of the titles, I can't call Teofimo undisputed because he wasn't. Can't call Loma undisputed because he wasn't. But I do give those guys, kind of a little bit of a pass because they had the majority of the titles. So if you think about it, the last three guys who held the majority of the titles at 135 have gotten whooped when they had to put the titles on the line. And we're talking even Lomachenko got mollywopped by Teofimo, and Teofimo got mollywopped by George Kambosos, and then George Kambosos got mollywopped twice by Devin Haney. So who out there is, really tested to the point where you could say they're not untested? Everybody at this point is kind of untested and unproven because the levels of competition are no longer there. There is no more stiff competition from rank number 10 to rank number 1. There's not a whole host of superstar names anymore. They're just really good fighters.
These niggas, they be gangster until they see that other side of the fence.
That's the old way gripped him from out here trying to get him out that shit. Always said, don't fight it, nigga. Save that energy for making love, nigga.
Until the sport changes and it goes back to the way it was, and guys start fighting everybody within the top 10. Now, I give Gervonta a little more credit because, once again, like I said in my previous videos, he has fought fighters all within the top 10. Now, you can say those guys weren't tested, and I would give you no argument, but those guys were all highly ranked. And I can't say that for everybody. Everybody's not doing that. So, to me, you can't just point a finger at one guy. If I did point a finger at one guy and say this is the guy to beat Devin Haney, it's definitely Gervonta Davis.
And that money doesn't make you cool. It sometimes makes you corny because then you be only worried about money. That money is the devil.
Shakur Stevens is a close second. I think there are a few other names out there, that would test Devin Haney. Vasyl Lomachenko obviously just beat him, but he didn't get the nod, so it is what it is. But I do feel like there are names out there that are as good or better than Devin Haney, and he holds all the titles. So, what does that say about boxing, period? And I totally agree with Jeff Mayweather. If he pitched a performance like that versus Gervonta, he not only would lose, he would get knocked out, and probably pretty easily at that, and I don't see those two guys getting it on anyway. I definitely see Devin Haney moving to 140 pounds and dropping the titles after the Lomachenko fight just based off the performance. He can't carry the weight and pack a punch at 135 pounds. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, fun mad, share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feel free to hit my Gmail. It is flockofcards@gmail.com. We are out of here.
There you go. Hey yo, brand new money, what you know about it? Niggas wanna claim they bout it, I doubt it. Got your house surrounded, you don't wanna come about it. It's lonely at the top, but at the bottom it's crowded. A nigga ain't eating a week, yet and still got a pocket full of bread, then you're probably a beast. If you're eating every day of the week, but you ain't got $1 to your name, then you're probably a leech. Preach, thank the Most High for making me most flies. Okay, wash on the fat boy died. I know you got something on your mind, don't try it. I got something in the rats in your head, bone blind for sure. Let me see you go, let me see you go. Get it, let me see you go, let me see you go. You know I stack it, don't spin it, own it, don't rent it. Wait a damn minute, I'ma show 'em how to get it. Come on, let me see you go, let me see you go. Get it, let me see you go, let me see you go. Get it, let me see you go, let me see you go. Get it, let me see you go, let me see you go. Hey yo, you can hear the cop sirens and the shots firing. Niggas looking for jobs, but they not hiring. You gotta take it all in your own hands. What you on, bruh? I got my own plans. Get my own land, please move along, man. If you can't respect the fact that I'm a grown man, and I ain't playing going hard in the paint for my niggas that wanna go hard, but they can't. So I guess I'm going triple hard. I get your girlfriend's nipples hard. Never leave home without my pimpin' card. So please put my name on the wall. That's the greatest of all. Put my name on the brawl. If I lay in the wrong, what I'm saying to y'all, Lucas Keys ain't playing with y'all. Middle finger, what I'm waving to y'all. Give a damn if you say hi. Super low, yet I stay high. Lucas Keys. Let me see you go. Let me see you go. Get it. Let me see you go. Let me see you go. You know I stack it, don't spin it. Own it, don't rent it. Wait a damn minute, I'ma show 'em how to get it.
Okay, I'm living like a boss. Look, I'm good in any hood I'm in. That's about that nigga Mizzle. Where you should've been. I get it in, homie. You my motherfucking thing. Shit ain't nothing. I be macking. Get in the bitches.